So that's what we're doing this.
Let's
do it live. Let's do it live.
Do it live.
We're live.
Can I swear on this one?
So
what's the swearing rules? What are the curse word rules?
You can curse here, it's fine.
I can say curses?
So, hello everyone, we are back live again in case you were just watching the live stream of the podcast. Right now, this is the live stream of another series I'm doing called How Much Are You Like Your Myers-Briggs Personality Type, basically. And my goal is to have one person of every type, and not just one. I want to have a male and a female of each type on, so that's 32 different people. So my first episode is right now with ENFJ SESHY. Thank you so much for coming on.
What? This is your first episode?
Yes, premiere.
Oh my goodness. I didn't even know I was that special. This is great. That's fantastic. What a cool show idea. Holy crap. Thank you for having me. I know this was an afterthought as far as my invites go, but I really enjoyed the last one, and so I'm really happy to be here for this one.
Yeah, you get double the sesh, double the fun.
Anytime. I love being on this stuff. It's socializing for me nowadays, so it's great.
Yes. So yeah, and I know I had at least one ENFJ ask me to have an ENFJ on the channel. So hopefully you are watching, because I finally have an ENFJ on here. So there we go. And in case you don't know, I'm INFP. So ENFJ, we are apparently a dream match. So we need to be dating. So I hope you guys are cool for that. We're gonna do a dating show right now. That's kidding. So
that's the story I'm gonna bring up, but I'll talk about that later.
So you said you wanted to, before we went live, you said you wanted to talk. You say something about.
I did. Okay, so little mini story. So I, for a little while, I need to hit them up again and do this again because it was really fun. But I was a guest on like this Twitch stream dating show, which is super fun stuff. But it's the first time I was there, it was like, okay, it was like a casting call basically. So like, okay, Sesh isn't going to be a contestant. I was like, all right, whatever. But then they invited me back because how they did the casting is it's like the host of the show, and he'll bring on like a couple of guys, and then he'll bring on like 10 sexy ladies, and then like those ones are the recurring people, and he'll bring on like 3 new people, maybe 2 or 3 new people. And so all these people get to ask just those 2 or 3 people questions. And like the first time I was on it, I get asked the questions, and then like, okay, you're not going to be on the dating show. Like, ugh, whatever. But they had me come back on to be one of like the 10 people asking questions. And I did that a bunch. So I was on this show. This like dating, it was the casting part of the dating show, which was also streamed, which is fun. And one of these guys was going off about like how like BS, like horoscopes and all these personality tests are. And like, I'm not one that personally like believes in horoscopes. Like I don't really believe in, how you were born is everything. So those ones like, okay, they're fun. I like reading them at night to fall asleep because maybe it's general nuggets of wisdom that maybe at that moment feels like it could apply to you. Cool. But I don't believe in it. Like, I don't think it's going to tell your future at all. But personality tests, like the Myers-Briggs, is different because you are answering questions that you are consciously asking questions or being asked questions and answering those questions, assessing them and assessing yourself as best you can and as honest as you can. That is entirely different than a horoscope. One of these guys on this streaming thing, this dating thing, says it was all BS. It's all the same. It's like, it's not the same. Your Harry Potter or whatever you get is going to be different than what your horoscope says it's going to be. Because one's just completely whatever, fate, online pay us money, fortune teller, fate stuff. The other one is you are answering questions. How do you even get to know someone if you can't rely on them being able to answer questions about themselves? So I was peeved about that. So I like talking about the personality question stuff. I do find it very interesting. where like they try to match up people, like we should be dating. I'm like, we're obviously good friends, so like, yeah, that ain't wrong. But like, it's just, I think there's something solid in like having a lot of very good questions and what defines like a good question, and people being able to answer them, not just like genuinely, but being self-aware of those answers. I think those kinds of personality tests, they're super interesting because I think they have some accuracy to them.
Yeah, I definitely do. Like, I'm not like, you know, I don't do this where like I discriminate people based on their types. Like, I'm not like, I'm not so strict with it, but I definitely notice patterns. Like, I notice that are certain types, like I'll ask people their types and I'm like, wow, I'm like, a lot of my friends are this type. So there's something to that. Like, there must be, like, if a lot of my friends are like a certain type. So yeah.
That's interesting.
It's completely crazy. So what we're going to do right now is I'm basically I scour the internet for different, you know, ENFJ traits and maybe things that ENFJs don't like and see. And I'm just going to ask Sesh and see if she agrees with some of the stuff or not. Because as, you know, if you're watching, if you know, like, you know, you might not agree with everything about your personality type. Like for me, like one of the things they say about like my type is that we're lazy, and I'm just like, I'm a lazy person. Like anyone who knows me would not call me lazy.
That's where my laugh came from. I'm like, you're not lazy.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, because some people, like I've seen some people that are so like if you deviate from your type a little bit, they feel like you're not that type, and it's like, you know, not everyone's gonna follow it exactly. So that's why I'm doing this. So cool. Let's get started. All right. Yeah. So let's see if you agree with some of these or not. So a common stereotype of ENFJs is that they're illogical people who only base their choices off of emotions.
Hell no. Hell no. That's a hell no one for me, actually. Okay. I will say the disclaimer, my F and J often swap. My EN basically never changes. I've taken this test a few times, so I have had that happen. I'm one of those people with a lot of these personality tests where I end up like in the middle, where it's like just a nudge in one direction rather than the other direction. It's usually not a lot for me, especially with like all of these personality parameters. I'm definitely logical. I'm definitely a logical person. I like to acknowledge feelings. I like to know what they are, but I want to know the logic behind them. And once I realize that, everything makes sense.
Okay. So the other type that you get is an ENTJ. Do you feel, is that the other one?
Yeah. The TJ, and then the what is it?
ENFP.
P. Yeah. So I usually only one will switch, but as I've taken them over the years, like I think this time my the TNF switched from the last time I took it, and before that it was so so the J's been consistent, but the T and F changed for me more recently.
Okay. So another ENFJ stereotype is that you are constantly bubbly and social, almost over the top flirty.
I have been called bubbly. I have definitely been called bubbly. I could be a flirt, but I would definitely not say this is over the top. It's very selected, and it's usually very much in the group of people I already like know, and I will do that with. Totally depends.
Okay.
Like something like this, I know you, and I don't have other eyes on me, even though I technically do. I don't see them, so I could be bubbly.
Yeah.
But is bubbly the opposite of like cynical? Because like I'm really cynical.
I don't know. I think maybe because I've been called bubbly too, and I would never describe myself as bubbly, but people are like, "You're so bubbly." I'm like, what? Like,
I think I just have really dark humor, so I find a lot of things funny, and I giggle a lot, but like I shouldn't.
I feel like maybe it has something to do with like smiling and like our cheeks. Maybe like
Oh yeah, I do smile a lot. That is like my default talking to people face usually, because I didn't think I had resting bitch face, but like it turns out when I am thinking, my thinking face is absolutely like, are you pissed? Like people have asked me that before, like if I'm like drawing or something, like.
Oh yeah, I've gotten that too. Yeah.
So I think I've learned to just default a little on the happier, bubbly side.
I just get mad when they say that because I'm like, okay, do you want me to walk around like? If I'm thinking, I'm not gonna be thinking like.
I know, like I never have like a smile on my face when I'm thinking. It's like scowl and like just like.
Yeah.
Right. Like, are you okay? So I haven't called bubbly, but I disagree. But it's happened, so maybe it's true.
Okay, so this is another stereotype about, or just like something that maybe you like hate to do. So let's see if you agree. So ENFJs. So something that ENFJs supposedly hate is, wait, what? Oh my gosh. What? That they despise, the things they despise are connected to the actions of others. Okay, this one's kind of confusing. Maybe because I've had too much wine. I couldn't really. Let's go on to another article. Sorry, let's skip that one. Okay, so let's. Okay, this is another article. It's things you should never say to an ENFJ. So let's see if you agree with this. Okay, so number one. Stop being so dramatic. So how would you feel if somebody told you that? Like,
oh yeah, don't say that. Like, yo, I am a reasonable person. I'm not being too dramatic.
Okay. All right. Now, the other one, you're too intense. Has anyone ever told you that? How would you feel if somebody told you that? Too intense.
Man, I don't know. Like I try not to be too intense, I think, but I've never been told that. Like I don't know. Like I've never been told that. So I can't say like I kind of enjoy like just, you know, I don't know. I think maybe I am a little intense. But I've never been told that, and I don't get that feeling that I ever need to like back off or I push it too far, you know. Like I like to push, but never too far.
Okay. So the next one, things you should never say to an ENFJ is, "I'm disappointed in you."
Oh, that hurts. That does hurt. That does hurt.
Okay. Never say that. Okay, so another one. Yeah. Can you hurry it up? How'd you feel?
Oh.
Don't say that to you.
Yeah, no, I've been told that before too, and like I have actually been told that. There was one time I was directing something, and my actor was telling me that when I was like deciding between like, oh, what should your costume wardrobe be? Like, should we buy this thing or? And he didn't know the context, and so he's like, as a director, you need to make the decision. And I like looked at him, and I was like, my decision is that I have a free pair of boots at home that I don't know if they fit you or not. So I don't know if I want to waste the money on this pair that's secondary or this pair that's better than those boots, but those are free. So I'm allowed to have that second to think, mister. So like, yeah, that's I'm gonna clap back if you say that, because I usually got a reason, because I'm like, okay, this is what I'm debating and you give me an answer right now. Like, okay. Come on.
All right. So next one, things you should never say to an ENFJ. You're so selfish.
Oh, that's a big fuck you. No. No. Like that's that's anytime that has been said to me, it's said it usually is one of those insults where I have said it to someone first. And then they just try to spin it around, like make it like, oh no, it's you. That's the selfish one. It's like, how? And then they fumble and they can't explain how. They're just like, you're making me mad. Like, that's not me being selfish. Yeah.
People just like to throw that word around, even though they don't like.
Yeah, no, like I'm not selfish. I've tried to make it a thing with myself. Like, for example, one of the things I found myself doing a lot of the time is I end up taking care of drunk friends. Which, like, yes, I of course want my friends to, you know, not be in any danger, and I want them to be fine, and somebody to care for them, like when they've had too much to drink, they need water, they need food, they need to sit, they need to stop drinking, they need to get somewhere safe, like all of that. And I've ruined some of my nights doing that. Like, I've had to tell myself to, like, stop doing that. Like, these people aren't learning, and they don't even thank you in the morning, which sucks.
Yeah, ungrateful.
Yeah, which sucks. Like, I'm not doing it for the thanks. I'm doing it so, like, you know, don't get molested until you make it home. Like, yeah. So, like, I know I'm like not selfish. Like, I do want a lot, but I genuinely really want, like, my friends and people to succeed. Like, I get so happy hearing about happiness from my friends.
Yes. That's typical ENFJ. That's good. That's a good thing. So,
oh shit, I'm being typical. Okay.
Yes, no, that's a good thing. That's the one thing, a great thing about it, guys. So,
Aww.
So another thing you should never say to an ENFJ: "Sorry, I didn't show up." So people who like are flaky.
Yeah, flaky people. I'm not into flaky people. I very quick, like, after a couple of times you being flaky, I very quickly know that, like, oh, I can't rely on you. Like, I just completely stop expecting it. Like, I change what my expectations are of you then, and I'm gonna assume you're gonna show up on time first. Absolutely. So sorry I was late. Sorry I didn't show up. Like, I mean, usually, like, it's fine. Like, I know you were late a little earlier. Like, that's fine. You had a reason for it, but it's like, if people are just once it's like perpetual, it's like, nah, you don't care that much. That's fine.
And
I figured it out.
I mean, you could tell that I felt bad. Like,
yeah, you had a good reason too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm a reasonable person.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely agree with you about the flake. I'm more like a 3 strikes person. Like, if you flake on me 3 times, like, I'm never inviting you to anything again. Like, I would rather have someone just tell me straight up, I can't make it. Just be honest. Just tell me.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I'm not expecting you. But so many people I've had just lie and say, like, yeah, I'll be there, and then they don't show up, and I'm like, because they think they're being nice. I'm like, no, it's worse, because now
there were plans. Yeah, like, once you start doing that, like, you're someone, like, you don't get invited to, like, you know, restaurants because they need parties to be there to sit. You don't get invited to movies anymore. Like, you're off, like, a lot of lists that require any kind of reliability. Like, maybe a house party, sure, or like a, hey, we're hanging out at this place if you want to show up. But it's like, I'm not waiting for you. Like, there gets to be a point where, like, you just can't, like, yeah.
Hello, peace and love. You're a great subscriber. So, hi. Just want to say you're awesome. And I don't know, Sesh, if you saw the comment I wrote.
What is it?
It says,
yes, we're a dream couple.
Dream couple. So we're gonna there's a few more on the list of things never to say to an ENFJ. Another one is, you're so fake.
I only got me. Nah, anyone who thinks I'm fake is just reading it wrong.
Okay. So another one, it's not that big of a deal. How'd you feel? Somebody told you that.
That is a big contextual, that the context really matters with that. Because usually somebody says that and they're not thinking of consequences, whereas I'm probably like, right, like, that thing isn't that big of a deal. But then it's like, oh no, like, we missed our lunch reservation entirely. Oh, it's not big of a deal. Yeah, except, like, we literally won't be able to eat again until 9 p.m. tonight, so it's kind of a big deal. Like, I'm like a repercussions, consequences person, and I like set things up, and I'm a planner. So, like, once, like, I like to be able to, like, move with the flow of things. So I like to try to situate myself in positions where I make it so things are not a big deal.
Okay.
But a lot of people that say that don't understand that they are big deals and that there are things that are falling apart because something didn't work out.
Oh, I was wondering when we were talking about like, sorry I couldn't make it. That part. Have you ever like had a guy on a date tell you that, like, sorry I couldn't make it, or like they bailed, flaked on you?
Kind of. I mean, I had
And
one when I was like much younger where I was just straight up stood up. But like we were kids, so it was like, parents didn't drive him kind of situation. So I mean, that's whatever.
So, but you haven't had a date flake on you?
I've definitely had, not a actual, if he got me to a date position, he didn't flake, but I have had a lot of other kinds of flakes, like, oh, I'll call you on this day at this time. Doesn't happen. Like I've had that definitely, where like I get a call stood up, or where it's been like the, hey, I'll let you know, where like we've been flirting, we've maybe been out on a could be considered a date kind of thing, and then like, he never reaches out. It's like, oh yeah, I'll hit you up for dinner tomorrow. Doesn't happen. Like I've had that kind of stuff happen, and that's definitely see, it's different when like a friend, because if it's a friend, I feel like the standards are lower. Like you're not trying to find your life partner that you're going to live with type of person. So like the standards don't need to be as high. So like if the friend flakes a few times, like, okay, like they're not going to be a best friend for me, but they can still be within
talk,
right? Like if I'm going to buy my movie tickets in advance and then you're just not going to show up, well, I'm not going to be able to invite you to that movie. Like, sorry, like that's one thing. But like if it's like a guy and I'm like trying to date and he ends up being unreliable, like I'll give credit for like a good excuse. Like a good excuse will carry you. Like there are a ton of good excuses. And again, like I'm a reasonable person. So like you could just tell me like, hey, what's up? But yeah, no, I've definitely had like the other kinds of like the communication stand-ups and that kind of thing happen a ton. And a lot of like, again, like, and I mentioned this on your other podcasts, but I come from like the world of like Smash Brothers. So I used to I've like gone to like tournaments, and I was going to like video game tournaments for a very long time. And I like going to like conventions, like, like Comic-Cons and like stuff like that. I love going to that stuff. And there's a lot of people like you're meeting there that maybe you were excited to talk to, blah, blah, blah. And like, yeah, like you kind of make plans like, oh, we'll grab lunch, or, oh, we'll grab dinner. And then like, it doesn't happen. Like that does suck. I'd much rather be told, hey, I can't make it. And like that honesty, rather than like later on the next day, oh, hey, sorry, I missed that thing. Like, oh, you remembered about the thing? Cool. Don't care. I'm done caring.
Yeah. That's the one thing I didn't like about LA is like I had so many people, like it's like a stereotype, but it actually happened. Like so many people, we'll do lunch, and then it never happened. And I'm just
I know.
Don't tell me that. Like if you don't actually plan on doing lunch, like I actually like
I know
believed you when you said that. So like don't say it.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's why, you don't gotta call me fake, because I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, we'll do lunch if I don't want to. Like I'm not gonna put that out there. Why would you put that out there if you don't want to?
Yeah, when I say it, I mean it. Like if I don't actually want to have lunch to you, I would never like lunch with you. I would never say that.
Yeah.
Like, so when people say it to me, I actually believe them. But now I'm like, okay, I guess they're just.
I know, it's so frustrating. Yeah, like it's frustrating. Like even like I get it's less it's not as inconvenient as like actually meeting someone somewhere. Like if you did have plans to do that and get set up, but like yeah, like it really sucks to have like even like a call or like a message like before something, and then like you're just like sitting there like, okay, well I guess they're not gonna message me. Why don't you just say like, oh, it canceled, or something, or like I won't be able to. Just say I won't be able to,
Just be honest.
Be honest and have like a slight sense of time management with yourself.
All right, so this one's kind of related to that. This is the last one of things you should never say to an ENFJ. I'll get around to it eventually. How do you feel if somebody told you that?
I literally only have one answer, and it's a wins eventually.
Oh.
Okay, wins eventually. You whenever you want, but win is eventually. You give me your deadline. Like, I have in fact said that. Absolutely.
Okay.
From production, like on film sets, like my bread and butter was logistics. Like, what's your estimate? Oh, I'll get it done eventually. Okay. How long? How long do you need? Like, you tell me whatever number. I don't care. I just want it to be accurate. So I can plan around it. Oh.
All right. That's good. Yeah, we need people like you to balance out because people like my type are kind of like that, where it's like, we'll see what happens. But like, we need people like you're like, okay, you need a deadline.
Like, what would you like your deadline to be?
Yes.
When am I allowed to be mad at you?
No, yeah, because I know, at least like I'm self-aware enough where like I know, like I procrastinate, and I know a deadline helps me, because like if I don't have a deadline, it's like it might not get done. So,
it's so hard. It's so much easier working with deadlines. I know it sounds weird, but like if you give yourself if you learn how to give yourself a reasonable deadline, you'll be good at it, and it'll help. Like, it really will. Like, it's so much easier.
And I know how bad at it I am, that like I've actually gotten like oh shoot, what happened? Oh my god. Did we go off? Okay, are we back now? I think we're back. Are we good?
It still says it's live on my screen.
Okay. Can you hear me though?
I can.
Okay, cool. I think okay, we'll keep going. But like because I know how bad at that I am, like I have actually recruited sometimes like friends. I'll be like, you need to help me with this, like set a deadline, check on me, ask me, and like it helps because I seriously, like, they'll call me and be like, hey, so how's that going? I'm like, thanks for the reminder. I'm gonna work on it right now. So,
that's funny.
So at least like self-aware that like I know that, and like, get people who are like good at that to like help me. Mm-hmm. So if you know that you're like that, like try to get someone who's gonna help you out with that.
See, this makes me so curious. Like with the other result that I got the other time I took this test, like what those answers are and where the differences are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe I can look at some ENTP stuff, because for those who are watching, because you didn't hear earlier, Sesh says that sometimes she'll get ENTJ, sorry.
Yeah, ENFJ and then ENTJ was like the latest ones.
Mm-hmm. So this is the last one. This is things that you'll relate to if you're an ENFJ. So let's see if you relate to these. All right. So number 1, you find strangers telling you their life story. Do you relate to that? No.
No. I can definitely think of a couple of times this has happened, and I'm just like, why are they telling me this? What did I say? What did I do? I feel like I like look around and I'm like, were they telling this to someone else and that person just left and I'm still here?
Okay.
It's definitely happened though. Like that has happened. But I don't usually relate, It's like I was being evicted because I bought too many snakes and I didn't tell my landlord, but I called him a jerk. I was like, what are you telling me this? What's your
name? Next one. You have an adventurous side.
Yeah, I do like to try new things.
Okay.
I definitely like trying new things.
You're a feeler. You're a feeler who knows how to think. So
that sounds accurate. I definitely have a lot of feels. Okay. And I definitely am all about figuring those out.
Yeah, you're not too like in the feeling side where you can't like be logical at times.
Oh yes, I'm definitely very logical. Like I'm logical like first. Like usually I'll like think out something, which is weird because I know like at my core like I do have a lot of feelings, and usually what's happening is like I'm being upset by something and I like can't figure out why until I logic it out. And then once I logic it out, I've had this happen a couple of times where I've been very miraculously able to rethink my feelings on those and have a different like feeling outlook.
Okay.
But it's usually feelings first.
All right.
And then yeah, or like if I have no feelings on something, I'll logic it out and then I'm like, yes, feelings for what I concluded.
Okay. So the next one is it can be hard for you to say yes to yourself. So you naturally see the needs and desires of the people around you. And while this makes you an excellent caretaker and friend, it can also mean you forget to take care of your own needs. So can you relate to that?
I think that can happen. Yes. I think it hasn't happened in a while because we've been in quarantine. So I have had my me time. But I tend to be one of those people that will just say yes to the social needs of friends rather than my need for like a book time, or like my dog right here that you could probably hear growling at me because I'm not giving him attention. Even though I'm looking at his face. She said we're almost done, buddy. This is my me time. Yes, I'm ignoring you. So cute though.
So another one, you quickly spot authenticity or phoniness.
Yes. I feel like a pretty good whatever you want to call it, fake dar or whatever for that. Hello puppy. Yeah, I'm not about fakeness. Like it's maybe I've noticed a lot of times like maybe people are being like genuine to me, but then I'll see them like talk to someone else and I'm just like, that's not cool. I'm like, I feel like I hear it. Like it's tough. I've definitely obviously like been surprised before of people who are like being fake or fake nice or fake whatever, but it's I definitely try to focus on finding like the real person, like whenever any interaction. I try to gauge what kind of person they are, and that's about finding out their real side. Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely about that. Plus, like I want to direct, so like hearing the fakeness is literally what I want to get like out of my movies and like get like the genuine, you know, get to the core, get to the real character, the real person that character is. So like that's something I've really tried to hone my ears to.
Okay. Another one, you are your own worst critic. Relate to that?
Ooh, yeah. Yes. I have not found my success yet, but nobody has told me why. I have a billion reasons in my head why, but I don't know why yet. So yeah, I do. I feel like people, probably in general, like they like my movies. I don't know why they don't love them, and I get obsessive with that.
Oh, yeah, definitely relate to that as well. So when you have to give criticism, you analyze it to the point of exhaustion. So like giving criticism can be extremely difficult for you. Can you relate to that? Is that true?
Giving criticism, like me presenting?
Or can you do it and just no problem?
I can usually dish it out because I like to be very analytical. So I think I can go through it, and I do actually find it pretty fun to find out what things and elements I like about something and what I don't like about something. Again, it's like it just comes back to the I don't like this movie, and then like me trying to logic and figure out why I don't like it, or like what parts I did like, or like what things tip it to the edge of being something that I don't like versus something that I do, even if it's like not obviously bad. So I really do like to actually analyze and try to critique things. Because again, like I think as like the filmmaker, like I have to be able to figure that stuff out to know how to do it myself. And yeah, I mean that's really I like to be analytical actually.
Okay. Another one is that sometimes you feel like people don't know the real you because you spend a lot of your time taking care of the needs and emotions of others. But you get like an uneasy feeling that that the people you spend your time with haven't taken the time to figure out who you really are.
Ooh. Yeah. I would actually say that. I would say like having those heart to hearts and talking about those hard times. Like I'm usually not a person in like desperate need of those conversations, and I love being that person for other people. But usually until those like deep conversations happen, I don't necessarily feel that close with someone until that stuff happens. Like, okay, they're a friend, but no, not like best friends, until that happens. Like I need to have those deep conversations. And usually once like somebody starts talking to me about that stuff, I can usually kind of present a little bit of mine, but it's tough because I don't usually reach out myself too often, necessarily when in need, but I will still share when another person is sharing.
Okay. Well, I want you to know that if you want to talk, I'm a good listener. Because I have another ENFJ friend, and I noticed that like she asked me a lot about like what's going on with me and blah blah. But like I don't want to just talk about me, so like I'll ask her like what's going on with you, but then she won't really like say that much, and I'm just like, I don't want you to think that I don't care. Like I do, and I feel weird. Like I try to get her to like kind of open up a little bit more, and she doesn't. I'm like, I don't know if it's like, I don't know. Like I'm trying to like be like, what do you want to do? How do you feel? What's going on with you? But like she kind of turns it back to me sometimes. Like, I don't want to feel.
Oh, I know that feeling. Yes. Oh my gosh, I can relate. Yep. Yeah, I guess like with me, because it's like I'm not necessarily in like. I'm generally a little pessimistic, but I have positive lines that I tell myself, and then that I would absolutely tell my friends, and that I absolutely believe in. But it's tough to believe in those things when it comes to me. I'm a do as I say, not as I do kind of thinker when I'm like helping a friend out. So like even in like my time of need, I might, like it'd be awesome to like talk to you, but like if I'm in a time of need, like I know what you're gonna say back to me because it's exactly what I would tell you if you were reaching out to me, but that doesn't make me believe it, And I'm not one of those people like try like I know I like people, like a lot of people like throw around like women like to play like the victim card. That is not true. We don't like the pity, like in general. I at least definitely like me. So it's tough then, because like when you're down, you're like, I don't want people to pity me, but I really want to talk.
Well, just know that I care. And I think anyone, like, if you're watching, if you have an ENFJ friend, please let them know that you care about them, because I feel like, yeah, they care about other people and they want to help them and everything. And I feel like they should feel more appreciated and stuff like that.
It's probably the E in it, but I will say it's definitely very nice to have friends like you reach out to us. Like maybe I am in a downtime, but even just like doing like this podcast, like is a great experience where like, oh, you reach out to me. That's great. Like I found out today I'm on episode 1. You put me on episode 1. That's freaking awesome. Like I feel like, oh, like I'm like lifted out of that, like, the sad place without even having to talk about it, which is like kind of my favorite way to get out of the sad place.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that maybe that's a key with like ENFJ people. Just let them know you're there for them. Like just maybe they don't talk about it, but just be like, "Hey, we're here.
Yeah,
if you need us, we're here."
Yeah, I like that. A friend put it very well, especially like right now for quarantine year, as you know, like she had made this big post about how, you know, like as an extrovert, like she really felt like she was like disappearing from the world because she wasn't able to have these social interactions like she's used to. And even though like I do enjoy my me time and I like really take advantage of it as best I can, like toiling at little art projects or like reading or watching something or making something or just any of that kind of stuff like that I do enjoy doing alone. Like I really do need that socializing and to not feel like I'm just like vanishing and disappearing. And so having friends like reach out and be like, oh my God, they are thinking about me. They didn't forget about me is a very good feeling. They did not forget about me.
Yes. Yes. So I'm going to show this comment from Peace and Love, who is awesome. They said, ENFJs are awesome. I have a spiritual mentor who's an ENFJ that cares about everyone. I'm going to go check on them often. Yes.
Aw. Yeah.
Peace and love
that.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure like they probably would never be like, hey, reach out to me. So that's why you have to do it. Yeah, you would never be like, hey. So
aren't you gonna ask me about my day?
Yeah.
That's something I will never say. Like I'll think it maybe. But I will like never ever like say that.
So number 10 of ENFJ things that you should relate to if you're an ENFJ is you can be a very determined leader. So you have a visionary outlook on life and are determined to change the world to make it better for people. While some people see you as simply friendly and outgoing, there's more to you than that. You spend your life arranging your future and planning and strategizing on how to make your dreams a reality and improve the world. So can you relate? I feel like you're directors.
Yes. Just all of that. Yes. That's like probably out of all of these things you have said, that's probably like what I find the most relatable.
Oh, okay. Cool. Oh my gosh. I hopefully it didn't cut out that much. I feel like it's cutting in and out. Shoot.
I heard just a little bit.
Oh no.
It's a little choppy.
Let me know. Peace and love. Oh shoot, connection is unstable. Oh, it's probably on my end. I think I had told you earlier that my Wi-Fi goes in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna go over because you said sometimes you come out as ENTJ. So just this is the last thing because I don't want it to be too long, and also the Wi-Fi is cutting in and out. So okay.
Yes, that last thing you said, 100% relate to the most. That last bit you said, 100%. Like I was like, oh,
okay,
that's me.
Yay! Okay, cool. So now I have a list of things you relate to if you're an ENTJ. So let's see which of these you relate to. So these are ENTJ ones because we're kind of in the middle of both. Mm-hmm. So let's see. Number 1. Oh, hopefully you can still hear me. It cuts out. I can
still hear you. Oh, yeah, I'm here. It's you're just a little pixelated on my screen, but I'm hearing you pretty good.
Okay, shoot. Excuse the quality, everyone. So number 1, you believe that time is money and it shouldn't be wasted. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. But I do believe in giving yourself relaxing time. So like you don't actually need to be making money every minute, force yourself to take some time off.
Okay. Next one is what's the other one? Okay. You believe in controlling your emotions. So
ooh.
So like you try to see things objectively, but you kind of you keep your personal feelings and emotional reactions outside of your decision. So like when you make a decision, it's like you do have feelings about it, but you kind of try to use maybe be objective.
So I think that's one of those things where I described like I'll try to think and analyze my feelings, but I don't think I'm going to ever ignore them. Like even if like, okay, like I'll understand like, hey, this makes sense, but I know it's making me feel this way. So like, sorry. like, I gotta go with, like, if it's like something that's really like, I'm really feeling it, I have to follow that. I'm not gonna ever make a decision before I like and analyze it and like figure out what those feelings are. But if it's strong feelings, like I'm sometimes I'll just have to like go for that. Like I could, go try to be a lawyer. Why not go try and be like a lawyer and make a lot of money? But I'm just like, I know my feelings would not be happy with that. So I don't do it.
Okay. So next one, you foresee implications easily. So you get powerful insights into what will likely happen in the future, and you use that to strategize and meet your goals, no matter how daunting they may be. So can you kind of like set
okay, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I do that.
Okay.
I do that one. I do try to think of like repercussions of the like what happens if I do this thing, and then like all the little things that stem from that. That is something I do.
All right. Next, a little risk is always good. So you're not all about work and play. While you hate wasting time, you have a thrill-seeking side that shows its face at random times.
Depends on the thrill. I don't know. I'm like, I like some like roller coasters, but nothing like actually too scary.
So a little bit depends on the risk, maybe.
It depends on the risk. What are we talking? Like, what are we talking about? Like, roulette reel for like $20 or like $100?
Okay. Next, you like variety.
Oh, I do really like variety. I got variety-itis. I'm all over the place.
Yeah, I think that's that's definitely like something you get as a filmmaker. Like every day on set is different.
It's so hard to pick a favorite thing. Like there's like I got like 10 favorites of everything. Like
okay. So another one is that you'll relate to if you're an ENTJ. You hate doing things the way they've always been done. So you hate following a preordained routine or set of rules. You like an atmosphere that allows for vision, new ideas, or trailblazing. Do you relate or no?
I can relate, but it depends. I definitely am somebody that likes to really understand something, and like I'll do the routine that way, and then what ends up happening is I end up finding holes in it where I could be more efficient. And then I like to go in that direction. But I'm not somebody who's going to be like one of those, like the hotshot kid coming in and changing up things. Like, I'm going to learn the system first, and then we're going to change some stuff.
So do you agree with the saying, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it? Do you agree with that?
Yes, but I can find things that are broken. But if it's not broken, then you're like, no, like this is fine.
Okay.
Like I'm not trying to fix things prematurely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For no reason, for
no reason. Yeah, just to not do the same thing. Like, like I like how sometimes like systems like fall into place. Like, wow, this is really efficient. That's kind of cool that we figured all that out and do it this way.
Next one, you like structure and organization. You like to know what to expect and to have a plan. Yeah.
Yes, I do like that. I've learned, like, this is probably why I'm not this type anymore, is that I have learned to allow less structure. Like, let's say I'm going on vacation. I'll have like one or two things like every day that I'm like trying to do. I'm trying to have that structure because like in reality, like, yeah, I can structure that day perfect. And if like people would just, show up when they said they would, like they'll go fine. But since I know that's not going to be the case with anyone nowadays, I tend to let it be like, okay, step 1, structured. I'm going to go there. We're going to eat at this place. Step 2, I don't know. I'll leave like 4 hours later. Yeah.
Okay.
So I've loosened up on that a little bit, but I do like it. And it is actually really, I just have forced myself to structure free time.
How do you like, how are you when you travel? Like, do you like to have an itinerary, or do you just like, let's see what happens? Like, how are you when you travel?
It's a combo itinerary. So I do like when I would go to these like Smash tournaments, a lot of the times it'd be like traveling like to NorCal or back to Arizona or like just, you know, like San Diego or something. And I like to have a little bit of an itinerary where it's like, oh, on this day, this is the day I'm going to go get vegan sushi. And I'm like, well, I'm going to hit up a bunch of people and then let's see if we, you know, who wants it for dinner. If no one, you know, like I'd want it for lunch, but I can't structure it to make that happen. So I'm going to have to just get it for dinner and just hang out and have fun for the rest of the day. So I have like kind of a to-do list, and I try to, depending on the day, make those things on that to-do list happen at some point during my trip. Like if this, like I make it a point, like there's a vegan sushi place up in NorCal I love to visit, so I make it a point to go there. I make it a point to go to Japantown. Like I'm going to do that on one of these days. I don't know what day yet. I have to feel things out first, and then I'll get to it.
So the last one is you are extremely decisive.
I'm pretty decisive unless it comes to like my favorites. It's like, oh, what's your favorite ice cream? Like, I don't know. But if it's like, do you want ice cream or cake for dessert? I want ice cream.
Okay.
So I have some decisiveness, but then it wavers depending on how detailed we're getting.
Have you ever like talked to a guy or been on a date with a guy who was like, oh, I don't know, what do you want to do? Like, does that frustrate? I feel like
it kind of does, because I like when people are decisive and they have ideas and they throw stuff out there rather than just like, like I like somebody that has like suggestions, you know, just like, okay, we could eat at this place, or this place. But what are you in the mood for? And I'm like, something like this. Like I can usually give that kind of answer. Like I want something healthy. Or like I want cheese today. Like I can usually give that answer and then like narrow it down.
Okay.
But if it's always on me, I'm just like, oh, like anything. I like a lot of stuff. Come on.
Yeah. I feel like maybe if somebody was like had no opinions and was like, oh, whatever you want, like I feel like that would be kind of annoying. I mean,
it is a little bit. I'm like, what? Like I'll start listing off things I know I want. Like, do you want a burger? Do you want a taco? Like I'm kind of just like, because I'm down with like going for any of this stuff, but like, come on, you got to have like some direction on like what you want.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I think that's about it. We've been on for almost an hour. What?
Time a whole hour.
So fast.
I know it does. Like I said, I miss you. This is like some of the most socializing we've done because we watched the Snyder Cut, which we had to watch that. We weren't talking.
Yeah. I mean, and we had other people in there, so we couldn't really talk that much. You know, it's different when there's other people there. But
you went over a personality test with me. I mean, this is like classic slumber party girl magazine stuff that we did.
Yeah, it's so hard to get like I mean, when I get a guy to take the test, it's like, oh my gosh, I did it. Just because like most guys don't want to do it. And so
yeah, they're like that guy I mentioned at the beginning was just like, oh, they're dumb. It's like it asks you questions about you. Like, how is that dumb and not accurate?
It's like it helps us understand each other. I'm not saying it's the Bible, but like it's gonna help me get just like a better understanding of where you're coming from and things like that.
Yeah, so it's literally answering questions about yourself. It's not like, oh, you were born on a Tuesday, so you're gonna, you know, hate tacos. It's not dumb. Like it's not like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, those people that were born on Tuesdays, geez. Like it's nothing to do like that. Like it's just about who you are. Which I always find is really cool. Like I think like that kind of personality stuff's very interesting.
Yeah, like the guy that I was in love with, I've been trying to get him. Like we're still friends, so I've been trying to get him to take the test. Even though we're not dating anymore, I'm just like, I need to know your type. He will not take it. I'm like, oh,
really? Oh no! Come on, why won't he take it?
I just want to know why it didn't work. Just take the test. He will not take it. I'm like, you to take this test. I just need to know what you are.
I know. Be on the podcast and he'll just be like, damn it, that does sound like me.
Yeah. And I mean, I have a guess as to what I think he is, but I just want to know if I'm right. Like, just take it. It's not. Why are guys so scared? It's like they won't go to the doctor to get their prostate examined. I'm like, it's for health reasons. Like,
I know. Like, it's interesting. Like I said, like I really like analyzing things and like learning about them. Like I think that's like super cool stuff. Like I don't think I'm smart enough to be like a scientist, but I'm like, scientist, tell me everything you learned. Come on, it's so cool.
Yeah. Well, just want to thank Peace and Love because you're the only one who commented on this stream. So thank you for being an awesome subscriber, commenting. Anyone else who watched live, thank you. If you're watching not live, thank you again for watching. Just anyone who took the time. Follow Sesh on all her social media. It's linked in the video description. Anything else you want to say before we end?
Thank you for having me on episode 1. That's awesome. I might take the test again, see if it comes out any different, so I can be on another episode.
Yeah. You're gonna be every time.
let me know when I should watch for the people that I'm technically supposed to be a match with, and I'll see what I think about that.
Okay. I know a few of my types.
Okay. Just let me know. Let me know.
Okay. I mean, there are other ones. I mean, but like there are types, like ones that they say is like a perfect match is like our types. But like there are other ones who are like, the second choice that are pretty good. But like when I have them on, I will definitely like let you know. So let me know what you think.
Let me know. I could listen. So I can listen and watch. Yeah, I need to know because you could have a whole other secret. You could have like a season conclusion where it's like, yes, this person would date this one. Yes, this person would date this one. And I just reveal it at the end.
Okay, so
not give names, but just like, okay, so the ENFJ, that ENFJ would definitely date this.
Yes. So I actually had this idea. I mean, if I do it, it's gonna be like way until probably I film all these episodes and I get everyone on here. But like, I've been wanting to I've been thinking of doing like an online dating show, but like for fun, not too serious, but like a dating show where we match people based on their personality types. And I would be the host of it.
That would be really fun. Once we are done with this, I'll show you some of the ones that I have been on.
Okay. So let me know and if you're watching, let me know in the comments if you would like to see that type of dating show and maybe we can make it happen. So, but I'm going to film all these episodes first before I do a dating show. That's quite a bit. I want to have more followers before I do it.
Dating show is season 2.
Yes. All right. Well, that's it for this live stream. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you again, SESHY, for coming on. And Peace and Love loves that idea. Yay. Thank you. Thank you for loving that idea. Hopefully we'll actually make it happen. All right. Thank you guys. Have a good night. Bye. We have to go to sleep now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, stream.